origin is true, and secondly because it was the minister who said it, and there is a old Hungarian saying that to whom God gave office, He gave brains with it. So you add this all up and you get the popular belief that everything is true. Sorry about this little story interruption.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be here as a part of this great conference. I really enjoyed the previous speakers and panelists. I should start with the situation in Slovakia, since it's Slovakia media landscape, so it's hard to wrap it up in a few sentences, but the situation is in some ways quite similar to Czech, but in some ways completely different, because, for example, Slovakia doesn't have such great public television and broadcasting service like the Czech people have. On the other side, we don't have, I think, such a huge problem with oligarchs like the Czech Republic has today. It's my personal opinion. The situation is different in a way because in 2011 in Slovakia was founded the company called Piano, and they created national paywall for nearly all newspaper in the country. It was quite a revolutionary thing in our media landscape, because from one day every newspaper in the country closed their websites just for subscribers, and even there was a lot of critics to this system was shared by all newsrooms in the biggest newspapers. Even there was critics, the outcome is that the people learned after years that the really good newspaper and really good news are worth to pay, that they are not, they weren't for free always, and that if you really enjoy reading serious and good prepared news, you should pay for it. So. It was a great campaign. Even the national paywall failed, and a lot of newspapers exit from this project. The people are now much more used to pay for news than in other countries around. So it was much more easier for us to start a new newspaper in 2015. As I said, we are quite a new newspaper. The story is that I was working for a couple of years for independent newspaper Daily SME, the biggest serious newspaper in the country, but in 2014 it was bought by local oligarchs with connection to politicians and with not a good reputation. So around 40 journalists stand up and left the newsroom, and we established a new newspaper in 2015. We were successful just mainly because people were really used to pay, as I mentioned. That thanks to national paywall, people are very used to pay for news, and when we started new newsroom and the new newspaper in 2015, it was a crazy idea to start a daily newspaper in 2015 when everyone was talking that the daily newspaper are dead. So we started it really in 2015, and it's successful for we can say now, because we are in profit. We are in plus numbers after 3 years, and we are quite different because we know from the beginning that we can't do the same what every newspaper in the country do, because we are smaller. We were just 40 reporters, so we weren't able to do everything what all much more bigger newspaper are doing. So we changed our mission, or we focused our mission on two things. One is we started to do really quick and short news that are for free, so it's something like Twitter, for example. So you have free access to quick, really short information about what's going on in the country or anywhere else. It's something similar to, if you know, the breaking news application or Circa application. It was cancelled before, but it's similar. And the second thing we are focusing are more analytical, in-depth, longer pieces of journalism, and they are all of them behind paywall. So After 3 years, we have around 50 journalists in newsroom. We have around 28,000 subscribers, so paying readers. My goal in the newsroom is to build and to remind others in newsroom to be transparent, to find a way how to build a relationship with our subscribers, because they are actually our customers. They are not just readers, but they are customers, and we have to look at it. And one different things when you look at the other newsrooms or newspapers in the country is that we are not focused on clicks, we are not focused on page views or likes, because since 80% of our income is from subscribers, clicks doesn't mean anything for us. It's useless metrics for us. So we are focused on the number of subscribers, how people value our stuff. So every morning, every journalist in newsroom get an email report of how our articles from previous day was working, which article was such a good that people buy subscription to finish them, to read them till the end. So, and we see on these numbers that if you are looking on clicks, page views, unique readers or whatever, you always are doing some kind of clickbait, you are always doing some kind of sexy stuff, journalism, but when your journalists don't have access to these kind of metrics, they don't see any page views, we don't have the most read articles, and you can see how many clicks each one has. We had it before, but now we don't have. So they now have just information about how was the article interesting for readers to pay to buy a subscription. So and never some sexy stuff was in this ranking on a higher position, because people don't want to pay for naked photos or celebrity stuff. They will pay only to really interesting pieces that are important for their lives. So this is the differences of our newsroom, and maybe the good way how to think about journalism for August. And I want to mention two things we are doing in Slovakia, and I think are quite unique in terms of fake news, disinformation, in terms of solution. So we know that there is a big demand for better education, as was said before in the panel before, that we need more media literacy courses or better media literacy courses. And the problem is that in our country it's really hard to implement some state educational system to teach students how to, for example, use internet, how to understand Facebook, how to understand how media works. So it's hard to do it from a state level. So we tried from our own. Because we know that a lot of teachers in the country want to teach media literacy. They have some textbooks, but of course they are old, outdated, and not well prepared. And they don't have time or experience or know-how how to create their own materials for students, how to make media literacy course engaging. And we in newsroom, we have some kind of know-how. We understand the topic, we understand the problem. So we ask our readers if they will help us to create some textbook for students. And we saw a really huge demand for this. We made a crowdfunding campaign, and in small country, Slovakia has only 5 million people. We crowdfunded 40,000 euro on our first textbook, and we were able, thanks to gifts from our readers, share textbook about disinformation and lies on the internet to around 40,000 students in schools all around the country. Since this was such a success, we made the second attempt, and we asked our readers what we should do next. They voted we should create the textbook about critical thinking. So the next textbook was about critical thinking, again, crowdfunding campaign, and thanks to our readers, we were able to share this textbook to 24,000 students in all schools around. And 2 months ago, I think we created the third textbook. It looks like magazine. You can buy it in newsstand as magazine, but also, of course, if we were able to share this magazine, this textbook to students. This is the third one. It's something like journalism 101, how media works, the basic media literacy thing, and it was again crowdfunded, and we were able, thanks to our readers, share it to 22,000 students in schools. So this is one thing we are doing, and we will do it in next couple months. A second thing I want to mention is quite unique project in Slovakia. It's called Conspirators, you can translate it. It was created in 2016, and it's a list of these disinformation websites who are operating in Slovak and Czech because we understand the language, so both countries. And it's used to exclude advertising from these kind of websites. I don't know if you are familiar about how internet advertising works. You can, of course, buy advertising to Financial Times or BuzzFeed or on some page you really enjoy. You can buy advertising on some page because you want it to hear. Or you can buy it, for example, through Google AdWords, and your advertising will be shared on whatever site, on whatever corner of the internet. Whoever created on some page and put the Google ads, your advertising should be shown here. And so we created the list to not to say this is a site you should read and not read. We just create a list to show advertisers and companies that are responsible and that they don't want their advertising to be next to fake news or next to hoaxes or lies. So if some company don't want their advertising to be on such site, they can use our list just to exclude that advertising. So since then, on the fake news side, you are not able to find any advertising from banks or mobile companies because they know that this is a reputational problem for them if they have their advertising on such a nasty content. So this project works that we have 15 juries, members of jury. It's a multidisciplinary jury. I'm one of the part of this jury. There are journalists, there are professors of history, there are doctors, because of course a lot of fake news aren't connected to politics, they are connected to medical things, how you can cure cancer with lemon or something like that. So we have a lot of experts in different fields, and these experts are evaluating the different sites and making ranking to them. And since the start, we have 120 disinformation sites on our list from Czech and Slovakia. And our list was used in 3,200 accounts, so it's 3,200 clients. It was used in more than 42,000 campaigns. We don't know how big the campaigns was, because advertising campaign can be just for 50 euros, or it can be for 10,000. So we don't know how much money was on this campaign, but we know that nearly 70% of money that are going to advertising are going to providers where the advertising is shown. So 30% is going to Google, for example, and all other money are going to authors of this information. So since 2016. These people aren't getting money from most responsible companies and biggest company in the country. So I think it's all for the start. Thank you.